Hey friends, I don't share breakfast recipes very often here, but it turns out that April is National Brunch Month, so I wanted to do something really special for you. Today I'm sharing 4 easy-to-make, delicious brunch recipes that'll wow your friends and family. They're beautiful on the table, perfect for all ages, and 2 of them use some fun shortcut ingredients that you probably already have in your kitchen. And if brunch ain't your thing, no big deal, friends. These are hearty enough you can serve them for dinner. We're gonna make a really pretty, really yummy little breakfast or brunch recipe today. We're gonna make some breakfast stuffed bell peppers. Gonna get started by going ahead and preheating my oven to 350 degrees. I'm gonna get a big pot of water started boiling up here on top of the stove. I've also got just a pound of bulk breakfast sausage. I'm using mild because that's what my family likes. And I'm just gonna brown it up on top of the stove here. And while this is going on and my water's coming up to a boil, I'm gonna prep my veggies. I've got 3 bell peppers here. Instead of cutting the tops off like you normally do whenever you're doing stuffed peppers, I'm going to cut them down the center and we're going to stuff them at the side. So once you get them cut in half, I'm just kind of going to cut this little core right out of here and take out the veins and all of the seeds. And this is what you're left with. I'm actually making this little recipe for dinner for us tonight. I feel like it's hearty enough to stand on its own to be a dinner. And you know, we love breakfast for dinner. Usually it's a heavier breakfast type with, like biscuits and gravy and that kind of stuff. For brunch, I feel like, it's almost got a fancy kind of feel to it. You want to use some recipes that are, different than the same old stuff that you just have for breakfast. It's kind of like, the name says, half breakfast and half lunch. But I do think you want just something. It's always fun to make something just a little bit fancy. And you guys know me well enough to know that fancy doesn't have to equal hard, because I'm not doing anything too hard. We're going to take our little bell peppers, put them down in this boiling water, and we're just going to parboil these for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm also going to take this opportunity to take 1 just medium size sweet onion, and I'm just going to dice it up. I think this is going to be a really pretty presentation to put on your table too. My peppers are bubbling along, almost time to take them out of the water. My sausage is done. I'm just going to take it out of the skillet, throw it all over the stove. Try to get it in a little bowl back here. And my Swaggerty sausage does not have much grease in it. If yours has a whole lot of grease, you want to drain that off. I'm going to grab my peppers out of this big pot of boiling water. I'm going to take them over here to the sink and I'm going to rinse them in some really cold water. We definitely want to stop this cooking process on our bell peppers. The parboiling does help the skins to begin to get nice and soft. Brings out a really pretty color on them too. But we want to dry them really good. I'm also going to take a paper towel to them. And then we are going to salt the inside of these too. I've got my same skillet that I made my sausage in, and I've had to add some oil to mine because once I took my sausage out and the grease I had left in here was not very much. So I had to add a little bit in. Just going to heat that to like a medium-high heat. Going to add my onions in here, and we're going to let them soften up just a minute. Here we are with this little bit of salt. Then I'm also going to go ahead and crack a little bit of black pepper in the side of these too. Let's start building the flavor. Now I'm going to take about 4 cups of these shredded hash browns. Now, if you don't have frozen shredded hash browns, you could just shred you up or dice you up real fine. Oh, probably about 2 potatoes, 2 medium potatoes would probably give you this amount right here. You just want to toss these around with your onions a little bit. I like to get a little bit of grease on mine all the way through when I'm making hash browns. I like to make sure they're good and greasy all the way through. Then if you're, making hash browns, usually you don't mess with them. You just let them get a crust. But take about 5 or 6 minutes. And I'm also going to season these up with some of this Kinder's, the blend. This is salt, pepper, and I feel like they need a little garlic powder. It smells delicious in here. Once your hash browns are kind of crispy and getting pretty and browned on the side, you just want to eat it all. I do. It smells so good. We're going to take our sausage, though, that pound of sausage, put it right back in there, do a little stir around, and I have 2 cups of cheese here. I have 1 cup of mozzarella and 1 cup of cheddar. And you could mix these together. I just didn't, but I'm going to use about half a cup of each one right now. Now I'll mix what I have left together. I'm also gonna add in some eggs. And this is 4 eggs that I've just whisked up. And one little trick that I've learned to make really fluffy eggs is to just add a little bit of water into them. Really fluffs them up. And I'm gonna go ahead and I've turned the heat off, and very gently, but very thoroughly, I'm going to mix all this together. Your eggs are not going to be cooked all the way through, but that's okay. We're going to bake this off in the oven. Just going to get it all mixed together and let it sit here for just about 5 minutes. Now we're just going to take our mixture and stuff our bell peppers. And don't be stingy. We got plenty enough filling over here. Most people say stuff your bell peppers about 90% of the way full and leave some room for cheese. I say stuff your peppers about 120% full and then just cover them with cheese. I'm using the rest of that mozzarella and cheddar cheese that I have mixed up. And be your own person here. If you like spicy things, you could put some jalapenos in your mixture and use like a cheddar jack cheese. You could use like a Swiss and Gruyere. That might be really good in here. I'm kind of on a little Gruyere kick. Now you're just going to lift these over into an oven safe dish. I ain't going to have enough room. That just hit me. I'm not going to have enough room. I'm going to have to use 2 broiler and oven safe dishes because they do need a little bit of room for the heat to circulate around them. So let me grab another dish. If there's one thing I've got, friends, it's casserole dishes. And look how pretty these 2 coordinate. Look at this one. My good friend, Karen Jones, you all know who Karen is. She got me that for Christmas, and I just love it. And I'm very loosely just going to cover these with some aluminum foil. We're going to put both of these in the 350-degree oven, covered for about 15 minutes. And I mentioned about my friend Karen. Let me tell you guys about some more friends of mine. Today's video is part of a collab hosted by Karen Jones from Food and Family and Christy Ramsey from Ramsey's Ranch Kitchen. In all, there are 8 of us who are having a virtual brunch today. And these are not the same old recipes you've seen time and time again. The channels in the collab are Whippoorwill Holler, Vicky's Country Home, Pretirement Days Comfort Foods, Easy Cooking with Linda B, Lunch at Uncle Jason's, our host, the Ramsey Ranch Kitchen, and Karen Jones Food and Family, and myself. Each creator in our group is completely different from one another and bring their own unique styles, flavors, and personalities to their cooking. You might see a familiar face or two, but I really hope that you'll find some new to you creators to follow on YouTube today too. I'll have a link to the playlist in my description box and at the end of my video so you can watch the entire brunch collab. You're really going to enjoy these creators and all that they have to offer on their channels. Let them know that I sent you, and if you're just finding me for the first time today through this collab, welcome. Thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me today. Now let's get back and finish off our breakfast stuffed peppers. After 15 minutes, you need to remove your aluminum foil, and at this point, you're supposed to top it with cheese. But I got excited and I've already topped mine. So that step's already done. Gonna cook them another 10 minutes or so. You're just cooking these until the eggs are set and your peppers are nice and tender. Then I put the broiler on mine for just about 3 or 4 minutes to get that cheese golden brown. I like to top mine with a little bit of freeze-dried chives or some green onions. I think chives or green onions, either one, are really good with breakfast eggs and stuff.
Can I go ahead and eat?
You can eat, babe. What do you think about this?
It looks great. Looks like it'll be very good.
It was a very pretty presentation, wasn't it? Not your usual biscuit and gravy fare, is it?
It's okay. Looks great.
It's always good to try something new, isn't it? I missed you getting your bite.
Good.
Is it good? I forgot to tell people you could put hot sauce in like the mixture with your eggs and stuff. I didn't do that.
You just put hot sauce on it.
You certainly could. You could put hot sauce all over the top of it. You know your Bear & Burton's breakfast sauce that you love?
Oh, God, yeah, that'd be good.
You may see if you have any of that left.
Yeah.
Let me go grab it. Hang on. It's so pretty. And I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, it's good.
I can't wait. All right, let me get your breakfast sauce here. And I want to try a bite too. He's scraping the bottom of the barrel on it. I've got to get back down to Walmart or somewhere and get him some more of that. Okay, I'm just going to try a bite of his. This was amazing. I was so surprised that Patrick really liked this because it's very different for him. The eggs and the potatoes and everything is just seasoned so perfectly in there. And you can make this ahead. You're just going to bake it for 45 minutes covered at 350. Then remove your foil, bake it 10 minutes, put your cheese on there and broil it up. You can even make it ahead and then freeze it. You just want to use those same instructions, but let it thaw out for 24 hours before in the refrigerator. I'm going to make a really quick, fun, and easy little breakfast treat here, starting with some baking mix, just Bisquick actually. This is Kroger brand. 1 cup of that, about a 1/2 cup of milk. Whoops. 1 egg. Slippery hands this morning. Then about a tablespoon of sugar. Now we're going to whisk it together really well. Just make it a little pancake batter. Got some oil heating up in the pan. For this, I'm using some of this Jimmy Dean fully cooked sausage patties. Find this back in the meat case where you would find just your regular bulk sausage and stuff. It comes in 2 little packages of 4 patties that's sealed up. So you don't have to open a big package if you just have a couple of you that you're making breakfast for. This is a real handy helper. I knocked the chill off of my sausage in the microwave for just a second, and I am dumping my sausage down in my pancake batter, getting it nice and coated, then right into that skillet. Then fry them up just like you would regular pancakes. You can use the little sausage links with this if you like them. I bet you could even do this with a slice of bacon. This is a great meal to make on your griddle or Blackstone if you're feeding a lot of people, or if you're out camping, or if, like in my good old days, your girls had a slumber party. You can make a lot of these at one time if you need to. And who doesn't love a fun handheld breakfast? These would be great to set out on a breakfast or brunch buffet. Just something a little bit different, a different way of presenting something, and really quick and convenient. I made Patrick a little bit of scrambled eggs to go with his, and he's set in a jiffy today. Today we're going to make some bagel breakfast sliders. I'm going to start by preparing my bacon, and I like to bake my bacon in the oven, especially if I want to make a lot of it. And I'm going to go ahead and do a whole package of bacon. I won't use it all today, but I'll have it ready in the refrigerator for the whole week. I like to line a baking sheet with aluminum foil just to make easy cleanup. Then I spread all the bacon out in one layer. I put mine in a cold oven. Then I turn the oven on to come up to about 425 degrees by the time it reaches that. The bacon is pretty much on the way to being done, so I'll watch it until it gets to the desired crispiness that I like. And sometimes I'll even flip it over because I like my bacon to be nice and crispy, cooked, all the way through, but not burnt. Although I did get a little busy and forget about mine and burn a few pieces of it in there today. While our bacon is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prep my mini bagels. I've got a greased casserole dish, and I'm just going to spread a little cream cheese on the bottom half of each bagel and arrange it in this dish. I am taking this recipe down to making just 5 bagels because that's all we need this week. But I will leave you a recipe down in the description box to make about 10 of these. They're great to prep ahead and have on hand all week long for you and your spouse or your kids just to grab and go. Next, I'm just going to scramble my eggs up. A little bit of milk, some eggs, scramble them up like you normally would. I like to season mine with salt and pepper and chives when they're done, and I'm going to set those aside. Now we're just going to assemble our bagels. We've got our cream cheese bagel on the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of egg on each bagel. Then I'm going to distribute some bacon across the top. I'm using about 4 or 5 slices here. Just putting that across the eggs. Then let's sprinkle a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese on here and put our tops on. Now I've melted a couple tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to brush the top of my bagels with this. Then I'm going to sprinkle it with some of this everything bagel seasoning. If you don't have everything bagel seasoning, don't worry. In the recipe below, I'll leave the ingredients, which you may have on hand to make your very own everything bagel seasoning. Now I'm just going to put these in a 350 degree oven for about 10 minutes. We just want them to get nice and toasted and warm. Again, these were a hit with the entire family. That little bit of cream cheese that we layered on the bottom makes all the difference in this. And can't go wrong with a buttery top and that everything bagel seasoning. These are so good to wrap up in aluminum foil. You can heat them in the oven, or you can just unwrap them, put them in a paper towel, and pop them in the microwave. These are tasty and delicious. Today we're going to make a quick and easy little 2-ingredient breakfast. We're making cinnamon roll pigs in a blanket. We're going to start by preheating our oven to 375 degrees. We're going to use an 8-ounce roll of regular size cinnamon rolls. Pop them open and then take the little icing out of here and set that aside for later. My icing's not in there. It came out of that little holder. I'm going to go ahead and separate all my little cinnamon rolls. That just makes it a little easier. Sometimes these like to kind of stick together. Now I'm taking each cinnamon roll and I'm just kind of pressing it together and kind of flattening it out, making it just a little bit bigger. I'm going to go ahead and do this for all 8 of my cinnamon rolls. And I think I did say these are not the grands, these are just the regular size cinnamon rolls. For my pigs, I'm using these Jimmy Dean fully cooked pork sausage links. Now you can use any brand you want. You just want to make sure that these are fully cooked. The thing I really like about this package is it comes with 12 of them, but they're in little separate resealable things. So if you just needed 6 sausage links, you could put the other one in the freezer or just keep it in the fridge for later. For each of our cinnamon rolls, we're going to take 1 little breakfast link, and you also need to make sure these are thawed. Mine come in the refrigerated meat section at my grocery store, but if yours are frozen, you need to make sure they're thawed. Then we're just going to wrap our little cinnamon roll around it and just pinch together right here. See, it's like a little baby. Looks like in a blanket more than a pig. Another thing, if you buy store brand cinnamon rolls like I do, they actually come rolled like this. If I'm remembering right, the Pillsbury ones, they're just like one solid thing. So you got to make sure on these that you have your little seams all pressed together. But once you get your little sausage all wrapped up and pinched together, we're just going to place it seam side down on a parchment lined baking sheet. Then we're going to pop these in a 375 degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes. That's plenty long enough to get our sausage heated up, and we want our cinnamon rolls to be nice and fluffy, browned and baked all the way through. And I was making our little cinnamon roll pigs in a blanket for supper, so I wanted to put a little bit more with it. So I pulled out about a half of a bag of frozen hash brown potatoes that I had in the freezer, and I just fried them up, seasoned them with some salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. Then I scrambled us up some eggs to go with it too. Let them cool just for a minute, then pull that little packet of icing out, drizzle it all over the top. These are plenty sweet enough, but I put a little maple syrup on the side for dipping. These were so fun, so quick and easy, and they were a huge hit. Of course, Patrick loved these. What really surprised me was Maddie, who's not a big sausage eater. She really liked these too. You don't have to have the full spread. These are perfect to prep a big bunch up ahead of time, and then you can just let your kids microwave them in the morning, grab and go right before they head out the door. Click here to watch the entire playlist. I know you're going to get lots of great ideas and find some new friends to follow on YouTube too. I'll see you again real soon. Thank you for spending some of your time with me. Until the next time, I send you love from my kitchen.